साचा रूप साचा रंग मन में दिखाए, साचा रूप साचा रंग मन में दिखाए, साचा रूप साचा रंग मन में दिखाए, प्रकाशित हृदय में ईश्वर। अमर है राम भरत का प्यार, अमर है राम भरत का प्यार।
ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Together we'll chant Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verses 1 to 10.
ॐ अथ चतुर्दशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच परं भूयः प्रवक्ष्यामि ज्ञानानां ज्ञानमुत्तमम् यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे परां सिद्धिमितो गताः। इदं ज्ञानमुपाश्रित्य मम साधर्म्यमागताः सर्गेऽपि नोपजायन्ते प्रलये न व्यथन्ति च। मम योनिर्महद्ब्रह्म तस्मिन् गर्भं दधाम्यहम् सम्भवः सर्वभूतानां ततो भवति भारत। सर्वयोनिषु कौन्तेय मूर्तयः सम्भवन्ति याः तासां ब्रह्म महद्योनिः अहं बीजप्रदः पिता। सत्त्वं रजस्तम इति गुणाः प्रकृतिसम्भवाः निबध्नन्ति महाबाहो देहे देहिनमव्ययम्। तत्र सत्त्वं निर्मलत्वात् प्रकाशकमनामयम्। सुखसङ्गेन बध्नाति ज्ञानसङ्गेन चानघ। रजो रागात्मकं विद्धि तृष्णासङ्गसमुद्भवम्। तन्निबध्नाति कौन्तेय कर्मसङ्गेन देहिनम् तमस्त्वज्ञानजं विद्धि मोहनं सर्वदेहिनाम् प्रमादालस्य निद्राभिः तन्निबध्नाति भारत सत्वं सुखे संजयति रजः कर्मणि भारत ज्ञानमावृत्य तु तमः प्रमादे संजयत्युत रजस्तमश्चाभिभूय सत्वं भवति भारत रजः सत्वं तमश्चैव तमः सत्वं रजस्तथा
Param Bhuya Pravakshami. I will tell you of the Supreme again. Jnananam Jnanam Uttamam. Amongst the jnana, amongst the knowledges, it is the supreme knowledge. Yat Jnatva Munayaha Sarve. Having known all the munis, Param Siddhim Ito Gataha. They've gone to the Param Siddhim, they've gone to the supreme success, the highest success. If you gain the highest knowledge, you gain the highest success. You know it as knowledge is power, I guess. So the more you know, the more successful you're going to be. Now it's not just more, but more about what. So Vedanta's answer to that question is not knowing more in terms of knowing something in particular, but gaining clarity of thought. The more clarity of thought you have, the more successful you can become. You are not only successful, you are able to avoid all the problems that are going to come your way. If you can see that a problem is coming your way, you can sidestep it. These kind of actions are known as
Duradrushti.
yes, okay. They're known as preventive actions. When you do your exercise every day, you know that your body is subject to ailments, and doing your exercises every day is going to be your bulwark against that. When you save your money, when you're able to say sorry, when you are able to do all these things that you need to do, and you do them consistently. If you say you're going to do something, you do it. If you want to have trustworthy people around you, you must yourself be trustworthy. If you want people to keep their word to you, then you must yourself do it. You must keep your word to them. So when you have clarity of thought, you are able to undertake preventive actions. If you make yourself the kind of person you would like to deal with, you will be surprised to find that you will find people you would like to deal with. You know why that happens? Because when you do something yourself, you are instinctively able to tell who is doing it and who is not doing it. Suppose you just say to everybody, I like people who tell me the truth, but you're not the type who tells the truth. Then you will not be able to identify who tells the truth and who doesn't. So it's a very interesting phenomenon how we will just bring to ourselves the kind of people we are. So be somebody worthy of, be the kind of person you would like to know. be the kind of person you would like to deal with. And you will find people around you are like that. So, what is this Jnanam Uttamam? It is nothing but the clarity of thought. Your clarity of thought makes you do all the right things, and then you don't face the problems. And when you do face problems, your clarity will help you again. You can't be doing crazy stuff and then expecting the world to take care of you. It doesn't work that way. So, Jnananam Jnanam Uttamam. What is he referring to? Clarity. Well, where does this clarity come from? If you study the Gita, will you get clarity? Unfortunately not. Will you do Vedanta and get clarity? Study Vedanta and get clarity? Unfortunately not. You have to do the whole sadhana. You say, okay, I know all the definitions of Vedanta. Now I'm a very clear person. Afraid not. You have to do the whole sadhana. You have to take on the entire scheme of self-development. And when you do that, life changes. Just a different world you live in. So, Jnananam Jnanamuttamam boils down to gaining knowledge of the self. So, if you just start from what you do know, you will be able to figure out how the highest knowledge is knowledge of the self. When you so what is that knowledge which will help you in life? Is your clarity. What will give you clarity is your sadhana. What is your sadhana doing? It is nullifying your desires and taking you to the self. So eventually, the highest knowledge is the knowledge of the self. Because when you have that, you have everything. And when you don't have that, you have nothing. Now, what is this knowledge of the self? Nobody knows. This is the problem with it. Nobody knows what is the knowledge of the self. Not only nobody knows, nobody can know. It's not an object of knowledge. So what do we do with this piece of information that we have just got? We just do our sadhana and keep doing it and find what it has to show us. Then what will happen? What will happen to me if I do my sadhana all the time? What will happen to me? Will I lose everything from the world? Will my relationships or whatever just disappear into thin air? What will happen if you do your sadhana?
You'll get better desires, more joy.
You will handle the world better. We just did that, no Deep Raj. Handle the world better. Follow the line of thought. Remember what is the line of thought? Jnananam Jnanam Uttamam. Amongst the knowledges, it's the highest knowledge. What is the highest knowledge? Is it some information about something? Certainly not. It is
Knowledge of the self.
Hmm.
Clarity of thought.
What happened to you suddenly? Are you people paying attention? Can more people put on their thing so I can at least see you? And hopefully I can hear you also. Nobody answers over here. What is the highest knowledge? Is it knowledge of something?
Knowledge of the self.
No, it is clarity. Clarity is a knowledge.
It is gaining clarity. This is what you understand. You cannot start with going to the unknown. You have to start with the known. So what is this thing, which knowledge, if you had in this world, would you be able to ensure success and good relationships and good health and whatever, good wealth? And what is that knowledge by which you will have every desirable thing in this world? That we understand. Is it some particular knowledge? No. Because you could have knowledge of that and not have something else, right? You could be a gold medalist MBBS and not know how to deal with your child who is misbehaving. So there is no knowledge like this. And yet he claims that there is a knowledge which is the best knowledge. So how do we understand this thing? So if you think about it, you realize there's no knowledge per se that's the best knowledge. then what could he be referring to? He has to be referring to clarity of thought. Because if you have clarity of thought, you will have everything. It's that simple. Now, how do you get this clarity of thought? Is it by studying the Gita or the Bible or the Quran or by Shakespeare or by Emerson, or from where are you getting it? It is coming from the whole sadhana. Now, what is this whole sadhana doing for us?
It is
Developing intellect. It's developing our intellect.
Reducing desire.
helping us.
It is reducing desires. Now, why do we not have clarity of thought? Why are we so fuzzy in our thinking? Because एक पर्दा है. Such a thick parda, black parda. What is that thing? Parda, nice. What is that? पर्दे के पीछे का
है पर्दा
पर्दा है पर्दा पर्दे के पीछे.
पर्दे नश something को पर्दा
पर्दा नशी.
बता दो
वो वाला. What is it? Does anyone know the full one properly? पर्दा है पर्दा.
पर्दे के पीछे पर्दा नशी है. पर्दा नहीं तो ऐसा कुछ है.
पर्दा नशी को बेपर्दा न कर दूं तो अकबर मेरा नाम नहीं.
Right, that's the one.
Bharat is always on top of us.
Bharat knows all chords.
It is
पर्दा
अमर.
नशी को
It is अमर. पर्दा नशी को.
पर्दा
because
नशी
he's got clarity of thought so he knows everything.
पर्दा नशी को बेपर्दा कर दे. That is the Vedanta song. We should sing it as our song. तो मेरा नाम अकबर नहीं है. Okay, whatever. Something of that sort. All right. So now that's exactly what you're doing. There is a parda. Now you have to beparda kar do usko. And if you remove the parda, what will happen? You see things as they are. Just see things as they are. And that we give this big name, clarity of thought. And then we have seminars and books on how to gain clarity of thought. You can't get it like that. If the desire is there, you will not see. So what do? As you go closer and closer to the sun, or as the desires reduce, both are the same thing, you just see things clearly. How simple is that? And when you see things clearly, you have the highest knowledge. You may have no knowledge on something, and yet you might be able to execute action there because you have something called clarity of thought. It's a fantastic tool to have if you can get it. It will help everywhere. It will help when you don't know it is helping. You will not even identify that this I got because of clarity of thought. You may identify it as something else. So, what is the highest knowledge? Is the knowledge of the self. Because when you have that knowledge, you can have anything. Okay, I hope you followed the line of thought. We're not just simply saying it's the knowledge of the self, because that is easy to say. Now, how did you work out that it is the highest knowledge? It's not enough to say it's knowledge of the self. So if I say jnananam jnanam uttamam, amongst the knowledges, it is the highest knowledge. It is the knowledge of the self. Then what will you all say? Yeah, tick. We already know that. Tell us something new. There is nothing new to be told. There is only this. So it is the highest knowledge. Why? Clarity of thought. That is the one thing we need. Bhavna will one day be a psychologist. And she will deal with her clients and her patients, and she will give advice. How good will that advice be? Is entirely based upon. Yes, correct. I can't hear you, but I think you said the right thing. Entirely based on that. It's entirely based on how much clarity she has. Now, is it based on the degree she has? Not necessarily. The degree all the students in the class will get. But the difference will be how clear a thinker are you? Which comes about from not having parda. Parda nashi ko beparda kar do. When I do that, I just see things for what they are. It's no big deal. Until then, we are seeing it through a medium. And as long as you're seeing it through the medium will influence. You feel you're being objective. Actually, the medium is so highly influencing that you cannot even understand that. So this is difficult to understand. Therefore, Param Bhuya Pravikshami. I will tell you of the Supreme again. Bhuya, again and again and again, I'm going to tell you this until you get it. And I'm going to tell you in all sorts of different ways so that you gain help in reflecting upon that knowledge. See, you've got 700 verses of the Bhagavad Gita. These 700 verses of the Bhagavad Gita have only one message to give us. Tat Tvam Asi. That thou art. There's nothing else there. In 3 words, the whole knowledge of Vedanta is complete. Then why is he taking 700 verses?
Because we don't get it.
Because he's helping us get it. He's saying, okay, try and understand it from this angle, try and understand it from that angle. He's helping as much as it is possible for somebody outside to help us. Param Bhuya Pravakshami. Again, I will tell you. Yat Jnatva. This having known, Munayah Sarve, all the Munis of the past have attained this knowledge. So this is a sort of confidence given to us that it's not so tough. All the Munis of the past have got it. So why won't we get it? They don't come down with any special powers that we don't get. They are humans, we are humans. They got it, we'll get it. We just have to work on it the way they worked on it. Yat Jnatva Munaya Sarve. Having understood this, all the Munis, Param Siddhim, Ito Gataha. From here, they went to Param Siddhim, to the highest goal, the highest perfection. Ita means here. Ita means everything that we are facing nowadays. From this madhouse to that world of clarity and peace. Then he went on to tell us that when you take refuge in this knowledge, you are not affected by change. Why is he telling us that?
Because you become, you realize the self, and the self is unchanging.
Okay, but you already know that. So why is he saying this?
As a reassurance.
Okay, why do you want a reassurance?
Because change is what scares us. We fear change.
Okay. Sometimes when I do it, I feel like last time, did anyone listen to anything? They're just summarizing what we did last time. Nothing new has happened so far. It's the same thing that we did last time. We just did it little shorter than we did last time. So why does he need to tell us you will not be affected by change? Because the human mind, at least now tell me, has a weakness. Not yet. Kuch nahi, all Padma Patra Ivam Basa.
Attachment.
Yes, okay, that's one of the thing, but that's not the one it's referred to over here. The
The
human,
human mind wants things, it wants to preserve things that it likes.
that's attachment. Because the human mind has a weakness, a terrible weakness that nobody seems to recognize, even after being told. And that weakness is being result oriented. All our life, we want to do something only if we are going to get something from it. We always have a result that is bothering us and will not keep us at peace. This is the weakness of the human mind. That अच्छा मैं करूंगा तो फिर मुझे क्या मिलेगा? There's always that. What am I going to get from it? What am I going to get from it? The constant run gun going on. We cannot remember the self. Our Shruti is, what will I get? What will I get? What will I get? That is the Shruti going on for us. So since this is the human weakness, and since he is so charitable, and since he genuinely wants us to wake up from our slumber and move on with the important things of life, he gives us a result that you will get out of it. For a sensible person, why do you need to get result? Because it's clear, right? It's the highest knowledge. And you go to the highest perfection. हो गया ना? No. तो फिर क्या होगा? क्या होगा? You will be unaffected by change. It doesn't matter what comes and what goes, you will go on forever. So, this verse gives us the benefit. He's constantly giving us benefits because he knows there is no other way to attract us to this knowledge. He's giving benefit. Remember we did this last time? Please say you at least remember. Nobody remembers. It's very sad, no?
Is this the verse about that your gunas make you take birth in?
Second verse. You will idam jnanam upashritya, in this knowledge, having taken refuge, mama sadharmyam agataha. You will become one with me. Sargopi nopajayante, na upajayante. Pralaye na vyathanti cha. Sarge api, in creation, na upajayante. You will not in creation be born. Ja, remember, ja refers to birth. Pralaye na vyathanti cha. And dissolution will not disturb me. He's giving the results. So we remember we did this at the macrocosmic level. There is the creation, the destruction of the entire universe. In the microcosmic level, there is our birth and there is death, or there is a change of experience. Every experience is born and every experience reaches its end. However, in none of these changes will you be affected. Please tell me you remember something about this. Actually, it's quite simple. We should not do class. We should only replay the previous class. Then something, at least I can save some time. Points of each verse must be known, right? When you know this knowledge, you will become one with me. When you become one with me, what will happen? No disturbance in birth or death. One with me is like the river enters the ocean. It's not you go and hug him like that. You and he are one. You are the self. Even now you are the self, except you do not know this. Idam jnanam upashritya. This much Sanskrit I think everybody gets, right? Idam means this. Jnanam upashritya, having taken refuge in the jnanam, in the knowledge. Mama sadhyarmyam. Mama sadhyarmyam means same as me. Agata comes to. Sarga api na upajayanti. In sarga, in creation, na upajayanti. Pralaye na vyathanti. In destruction, na vyathanti, no agitation is caused by disturbance. Okay, clear? This verse is clear? Nobody is saying yes, nobody is saying no, everybody is fast asleep.
Yes, yes. Janki, that verse, no? Ajnane avrutam jnanam tenam muyanti jantava. Right, no?
Right means yes, you said it right, but what about it?
We are ignorant because of this desires, veil of desires.
Yes, okay, but at the moment we are talking about the benefits of self-realization. So why are you going there? I am not very clear. He's saying if you do this, if you gain this knowledge, you will gain self-realization, means you become one with him. If you become one with him, you gain self-realization. What is the benefit? That there is no disturbance in any form of change. That's what verse 2 says.
Okay.
Janki ji, when you mentioned about sadhanas, is it the karma yoga, gnana yoga, and bhakti yoga you are talking about?
Yes, it is.
And this,
Who is this? But wait, I can't see anyone. Who is this?
yes.
There you are, Bhumi. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry.
Bhumi.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask that only, that sadhanas you are mentioning, it's to do with Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Karma Yoga. And this Parda, Nashin, and Parda you're talking about, that is the desires. I think Milan is referring to that only. That
Okay, but that has gone some time ago, right? That verse is over. Now we're in verse 2.
okay.
Now,
Janki ji, so this reference to the change besides addressing the result orientation point is also telling us that we are, since we are affected by change so much, since we perceive change, so it's, I mean, directly under our observation that you will be free from this persecution. Is it also that point?
it's the same point. Why is it different? What is the difference here?
Since our experience is that we go up and down,
Hmm.
so it's in a way trying to address that you will be stable. So besides result orientation, I mean, is it a separate point or?
It's the same point, no? Why would he tell you that? See, what is he doing? He's telling you the benefit of self-realization. So what according to him is the benefit of self-realization? That you will not be disturbed in change. So you're just saying it the other way around. You're saying since we know that there is change and we are affected by that change, this will help you not be affected. So that's the benefit. That's the same point.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So we'll do 3 and 4. मम योनिर्महद् ब्रह्म तस्मिन् गर्भं ददाम्यहम् सम्भवः सर्वभूतानां ततो भवति भारत सर्वयोनिषु कौन्तेय मूर्तयः सम्भवन्ति याः तासां ब्रह्म महद्योनिः Aham bija pradapita mama yonirmahad brahma tasmin garbham dadhamyaham sambhava sarvabhutanam tato bhavati bharata sarvayonishu kaunteya मूर्तयः सम्भवन्ति याः तासां ब्रह्ममहद्योनिः अहं बीजप्रदपिता मम योनिर्महद्ब्रह्म तस्मिन् गर्भं ददाम्यहं मम yoni, my womb. Oh, sorry, Momita, you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, is there something wrong with being result oriented? We are result oriented, but that's how we are because we want to escape suffering. So that's not true.
Is there something wrong with being result oriented? There is nothing wrong or right. If you are result oriented, you will be agitated. So, if you are agitated, your performance will fall.
Right, but it's right of him to address that concern of ours because that is what causes us suffering. So that is why he reassures us, and we need to be reassured. So it is just how it is, right?
Yes, he does it because of the human weakness. So he has to do it, and does he do it right? Now I cannot say he does it wrong. So of course he does it right. But the thing is, we have to recognize that this is not something we should associate with result orientedness, not with him, but with result orientedness, because this is not going to give us anything. If you keep doing a sadhana thinking that I will not get affected by change, your sadhana will drop off. Because you'll come to a point where there's no change happening, and so you say, I'm fine, I can handle everything. So this is not a good way to go about it. But how does a person start at all? See, this our friend Arjuna is in a pathetic condition. He's not starting. He's standing on the battlefield over here, and he is listening to a lecture. So obviously he's not yet okay, right? Because if he was okay, which person on the battlefield will listen to Bhagavad Gita? They are all charged up to fight, right? Now this guy is not charged up. He's on the battlefield. He could be shot. Remember the kettle drums have started playing and the bugles are ringing. उसमें सब ये conversation चल रहा है. That means the guy is in a pathetic mental condition. So Krishna has to tell him that you will not be affected by change.
But isn't it good that he is actually having these concerns instead of simply going on doing something which he doesn't understand the reason for?
But
I
that's
mean,
not,
why should I do what I'm doing?
then define result oriented, because you've not got the right opposite to it. What does the term result oriented mean?
Means I will act based on an outcome. I'm not interested in the
I am more interested in the outcome than in the action.
yes.
So if I know the outcome, I know the outcome. That's it. If you save your money, you know the outcome. That's it, right? But every day to count your money and say, okay, kitna hua, kitna hua, why don't you go and work and earn some more money instead? So when you become result oriented, you become agitated and waste your time. And so you push the goal further away. You know the goal. When you started, you know the goal. Now forget about it and do your action. Doesn't mean that you forget that now you're printing a book. Now you can't say, okay, I'll forget about the goal. That doesn't mean that. What is your action that you have to sit on the printer's head, you have to do X and Y and Z, whatever you have to do. You're doing those things. But if you stay up at night thinking, oh my God, will the book come? Will the book come? Then you're in trouble.
Is it that if I perform perfect action, then I don't have to worry about the result. I know what the outcome has to come.
Of course, if you have worked out the causation and you're doing what you need to, what's there to think about?
But that is still outcome orientation, right? I mean,
No,
even
that is having a goal. That this is where you want to reach. Now you know where you want to reach. You're sitting in your car, you're driving. You don't want to say, "Oh, ye kab have we reached? Have we reached? Kab aayega? Kab aayega?" You don't have to do all that. You just deal with the road in front of you and whatever decisions you have to take pertaining to the road in front of you. That's it.
but why is that my goal? I will need a reason for having a goal also, some motivation.
Whatever yours, I mean, that is sort of irrelevant, right? You have decided you're going to chamber. You decided this, right? Now you're driving to chamber. When you're driving to chamber, are you saying, "Oh, when will chamber come? When will chamber come? Has it not yet come? Oh my God, there's a traffic jam over here. What will happen to me?" All this is all waste of time. You've decided you're going to chamber. Now you focus your attention on the road in front of you and do whatever that road in front of you necessitates. It's not that you've forgotten the goal. It's that you are concentrating on the road. Whenever you need the goal, such as in which turn shall I take, you will remember the goal. Okay, let's use the word obsessed. You're not obsessed with the result. You know what the result is going to be. If you do your studies properly, you know a subject, not obsessed with the result.
Okay. I'll think about this. I think I'm getting something confused here.
Yes, Bharat.
So the likelihood of result orientation arising is higher when you're not pursuing something noble or something bigger than you, right? Because your efforts in the present moment, I mean, bore you so much that you are focused or obsessed with what you're going to get in future in the hope of finding some happiness. Would that be correct?
I don't know whether that would be entirely correct. It would be somewhat correct. It would be easier for you to not be result oriented, but you still have to put in effort. Like, for instance, now you are trying to work on the yagna, right? The Bhagavad Gita yagna is coming up and you are trying to do it. Now you are working for a higher cause, but does that necessitate that no worry, no anxiety, no result orientation will happen? No. It doesn't necessitate it. But you are on a better wicket if you have a higher goal. That's what you can say. You still have to put in effort to not get result oriented about it and just keep doing your action step by step. Otherwise, nobody can get obsessive about self-realization, but that's true, right? It is a separate ability. This ability becomes easier to use when it's a higher goal, but the abilities are separate.
Okay, thank you.
You have also studied this before by saying that when you have reached a certain level, everything below it you are unattached to. You've already studied this. Everything below you're unattached. But at that level, you still have to put in effort, right? That's what it's referring to.
Yes, thank you.
Milindya, you wanted to say something?
Janki ji, this Manu Bakar, she won 2 medals. For third medal, we can say she was result oriented. That's why I couldn't win third medal.
I have no idea. I can't say that. I didn't see any of this, so no idea. But yes, as the number of medals rise, it's a possibility that the pressure on the person rises. That is a distinct possibility. But there are so many things during the Olympics, right? So maybe in medal 1, medal 2, we don't know. I mean, I don't know who were the opponents, how much you would have to struggle. You can't say, but the possibility exists, yes.
Possibility is there. Yeah. That is the okay. Thank you.
And that is the possibility every time you are successful, the possibility of stress rises. Suppose you won Wimbledon 5 times, now this is your 6th one. The pressure on you will be more that you have to win. So
Yes.
every time that success level rises, that pressure could grow up. Could grow up. I mean, depends on how well trained you are, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. So coming back to the verse. Oops, mommy, 1 second, Mahesh. Mommy is written something. Are we result oriented because we do not see that effort is non-negotiable? What is the problem with result orientation? Result orientation is nothing but a desire out of control. That your desire, I want is going on so much. You cannot deal with what you need to do. We are result the others because we do not see that effort is non-negotiable. No, because we do not remind ourselves that the effort is what takes me there. It's not my thinking that takes me there. It's not all my obsession that takes me there. It's not all the craving that takes me there. It is what I actually do that will give me. And it's not that I don't know this, but I forget it because of the parda. I'm thinking so much of the desire, I'm forgetting that I have to do the action. A student can be like, I have to come first in class, I have to come first in class, I have to come first in class. But study no first. Okay, come. Mama yonir mahad brahma. My yoni, my womb is the great Brahma. Tasmin garbham dadhamyaham. In that, I place the seed. Sambhavaha sarva bhutanam tataha. Tataha bhavati. From that, Sambhavaha sarva bhutanam. All beings are born, or all beings come from there. Now, does this remind you of anything? Come, this verse need not have an explanation for this class. Does this remind you of anything? Quick. ऐसे नहीं करो, please नहीं करो ऐसे.
It is seedless seed. Seedless seed.
Oh, okay, but what does this remind you of? It is something that we have been saying for the last, how many, where are we? 14. How many chapters we've been saying the same thing? It is our good old formula. What is that formula?
Self plus matter equal to living beings.
Very good. Now see how poetically it puts it. Mama yonihi, my womb, is the great Brahma. Who is the great Brahma?
Prakriti.
Prakriti. Very good. Tasmin garbham dadhamyaham. In that I place the seed. What is the seed?
Purusha.
Purusha, the enlivening factor. So this combination between Prakriti and Purusha, between Prakriti and that which enlivens Prakriti, Sambhavaha sarva bhutanam tataha bhavati. Tataha, from that, Sambhavaha, become, born, sarva bhutanam, all beings. O Bharata. So it's our old formula. We've been saying this all along. Remember? Spirit plus matter is equal to the individual. This is just put very poetically and nicely, unlike Vedanta, which puts everything in like boring formulas. Matter plus spirit is equal to Brahman. So boring. And look at how he puts it. Mama yoni mahad Brahma. Tasmin garbham dadamyaham. Sambhavaha sarva bhutanam. Tato bhavati. Bharata. All this birth of beings, from that happens. O Bharata. Sarva yonishu kaunteya murtayah sambhavantiyaha. Sarva yonishu. all wombs, murtayah, forms, sambhavanti. Sambhavaha singular, sambhavanti. First one was singular, now it's plural. Sambhavanti, which comes from it, are produced from it. Tasam Brahma Mahat Yonihi. Of them, Brahma is their great womb. Aham Bija Pradak Pita. I am the seed giving father. So Brahma is the mother and he is the father. So who is our mother and who is our father? Prakriti is mother, Purusha is father. Why is that? Because life takes place only when this combination takes place. When the enlivener is there, only then can motion take. He has to enliven it, otherwise it won't happen. It's like saying the movement of the car is the combination of the car and petrol. Right? So the car won't move until the petrol is. Mama yonir mahat brahma tasmin garba dadhamyahum. Sambhava sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharat. Singular. Sarva yoneshu kamteya. Murtayah sambhavanti yaha. Whichever forms are born. Tasam Brahma Mahad Yonihi. Of them, Brahma is the womb and I am the Bija Pradhat Pitaha. मैं बीज देने वाला हूँ, मैं life देने वाला हूँ. Not life in the sense of he gives you life, but in the sense that this combination gives life. Like petrol gives the movement in that combination. Right. So what does it mean? We've already studied all this. What does Prakriti refer to? Prakriti or you remember apprehension, non-apprehension, and the worlds? Do you have that diagram?
No, I don't.
Bharat, do you have it?
I'll have to check. Just a second.
Hey, what was that? There was somewhere for me to write. Now whiteboard. Where is that? Yeah. New whiteboard. Let's see.
Jankaji, it is whatever.
Can you see it or not?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so let us see. Here we have right seed. Oh no, I should start with. How do you remove this thing? Does it
Uh,
disappear to you?
I
Or
have one with Shara Akshara Uttam Purush. Is that the same or?
no, I'll do it again. Let me get a new whiteboard.
Jankaji is a rope and snake example, no?
Yes, you can use rope and snake, but let us start with, I will start with the pin. Okay, so we have apprehension. Okay, I do have better handwriting than this, okay? This is very bad. My drawing is very bad, but my handwriting is not this bad. Remember this, we've studied this, right? So apprehension means knowledge. Non-apprehension means not knowing. And misapprehension means knowing it wrongly. You misunderstand, don't understand it properly. Right. Now, Brahman is apprehension, right? Non-apprehension is the okay. So when you do not understand Brahman as Brahman, you have what is known as the womb or Brahma or Prakriti or the Shara, whatever you want to call it, right? And this combination brings forth the world, or you can even put it as the individual. The same thing. All the individuals put together are the world. Right? Not so bad, right? So this combination, now how do I remove this? All right, clear? Not so bad in fact. So you see that he has got, so like Milan was saying, so apprehension will be the rope. Not knowing the rope as a rope is non-apprehension. And finally, there is the misunderstanding, which is the snake. So Brahman plus vasanas brings you the beings. Now, why does he say I place? I place means that this is a slightly difficult thing to understand. I place the seed means if Brahman was not there, right, the possibility of non-apprehension cannot exist. If the rope is not there, the possibility of not recognizing the rope as a rope cannot exist. So in that sense, the rope can say that because I exist, the rope exists.
Snake exists. Snake.
Yes,
Snake exists.
snake exists, correct. So snake is my creation. But in actual fact, the rope has not created the snake. But it claims creation because had I not been there, the question of seeing a snake would never arise. Right? So that's why it says, it is I who have placed, it is I who have done this. You know, people talk about it as saying God created. What is that supposed to mean? Because God cannot create, right? God is actionless, desireless, so the question of creation cannot arise. And yet God is the creator. So how can God or Brahman be a creator when he is non-active? He doesn't do anything. And he doesn't do anything because he doesn't have desires. And we say he doesn't have desires because
If he had, he would be a spirit.
he'd be a being, right? So you cannot give him desires because Brahman plus desires makes him a human, and humans cannot create the world. So you can't give him desires. If you cannot give him a desire, you cannot give him an action. If he doesn't have desire and action, how is he supposed to create the world? So he cannot create the world. But we often talk of God as being the creator of the world. This explains how. If the rope is not there, the possibility of the snake cannot exist. If the desert is not there, the possibility of the mirage cannot exist. So in that sense, the desert can say, I created the mirage, or the rope can say, I created the snake. It's in that sense that it is being said. Or here, as he says, I gave the seed. Means I gave that potential. If I don't give the potential, how are you going to do this? Because Brahman is there, the potential of not recognizing Brahman as Brahman exists. Yes, Bharat.
So the non-apprehension or the womb refers to the vasana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, just wanted to clear that.
So I am the potential. Without me, this cannot happen. So therefore, I am the seed-giving father. I am the potential of creation. You have 1 week now to think about this. Okay, so
Janki
that's...
ji, reminder